Okay, hear me out.
You worked so hard on this.
You did put a lot of energy and time and effort and labor into this, but
what's wrong now? Are you
hear me out?
You thinking about deleting this project? You're not starting over
You
again,
could
are
make
you?
this
After
even
all the
better
work,
if
no,
you did it
Sheila,
all over
no,
again. Just make
no,
it better.
no. Do not,
This is really
girl.
just
Do not
not
start
your
over.
best. You could do better.
Okay, we're starting over again.
This one really is near and dear to my heart. You ever notice how like you start like a new habit or a new business or a new workout routine or a new diet or nutrition plan, and then like 2 weeks later you've dropped it, and then you look back and you're like, wait a minute, whatever happened to that thing that I was doing? And then you look back and you feel like you're constantly rebuilding, constantly starting from scratch. Just me? Is it just me? When I tell you this pattern was one of the most frustrating patterns in my life, and I am literally just now getting out of it. I feel like I'm an expert on it. I'm a pivot expert. We'll get into it. But first of all, hi, my name is Sheila Marie. I am the host of the podcast Unruly with Sheila Marie, and this is my Healing Eras series. In each video, I'll be talking through a specific stage of healing. I'll break down the real psychological and emotional patterns that keep us stuck. I'll show you why you're doing the things you're doing so you can understand it, and I'll give you practical tips and tools that I have honed from my personal experience of being a healing girly for almost 20 years now. And I'll give you the tips that you can do right now.
So if you see me looking off the screen, I am referring to my notes. Just wanted to put that in there.
Okay, so let's just get into it. Friend, we keep starting over. I feel you. It's like, here we go again. I'm going to break down the real reason why you keep starting over, even though you want stability. And I'll give you a hint. It is not about you being lazy. It's about trauma patterns, nervous system limits, identity shifts, and survival mode. Survival mode. Survival mode. That's a big one. I'm going to help you break the cycle. Okay, friend? We're going to get through this for the last time because we're not about to rebuild and restart and rebuild and restart for the rest of our life. Okay? Like, if there was an award for rebuilding and restarted, it would be me. I was a nanny, and then I was a teacher, and then I wrote and directed a play that I pitched to universities, and I toured around the country. And then after that, I was a professional actress. And then after that, I went back to grad school. And then after that, I developed a program that I pitched to the United Nations. And then after that, I became a content creator. I started out creating events, and then I'm doing content. I wrote 2 books. Like, you see what I'm saying? Then I got married. I'm a bonus mom. Like, you get the picture, right? I have rebuilt my life many times over. The problem is, instead of building on top, instead of scaffolding in a way that actually builds me up to something that I can be proud of, I build a little bit and then I wipe all this shit over and then start over and rebuild and then start over and rebuild. And that just wastes a lot of energy and makes me very frustrated and gives me the illusion that I'm not progressing. So this is the way it would go. I would get inspired with something. I get real fired up about it. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I get super involved. It becomes my latest fixation. And then it has so much promise at the beginning. This new routine, this new business idea, this new version of myself, whatever it is at the time. And then as soon as life gets heavy, I abandon it. I would tell myself, this isn't working. This is just not working. I would be like, this is wrong. This is wrong. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know how this was ever going to work. I lose faith in myself. I lose trust in myself, and I just completely drop it. I interpreted this pattern of behavior for a long time as me simply losing interest, or I thought that I'm just flaky as an individual, or I don't have discipline. For years, I thought it was just a discipline thing. I just have to have the discipline. But the truth is, underneath the surface, my nervous system never let me feel safe enough to continue. My nervous system would hijack the experience every time. My nervous system would communicate to me, Sheila, you are no longer safe here. Let's pull back. And then I would listen and I would pull back and get right where I started. Everything has layers. Again, this is a very layered both and type situation, as every video in my series. So let me break down the layers of this start abandon loop, where you start something and then you abandon it, and then you start something and then you abandon it. Let's start with layer 1. That is survival mode decision making. Girl, if I am not the main player, girl, oh my gosh, I have made so many decisions out of survival mode. So no judgment. This looks like you being stressed, scared, financially stretched, and your brain literally cannot think long term. Your brain has to abandon the idea of long term structure and stability in and instead focus on keeping you safe and alive in the present moment. Your nervous system is seeking for relief and safety. And so what that looks like is you dropping and abandoning that project. Layer 2, the panic pivot. And boy, don't I panic and don't I pivot. This is when something doesn't take off as fast as you want and your mind goes, abort mission, try something new. This one is particularly tricky for the girls that have a deregulated nervous system, which you might have. If you're watching this video, maybe, because we have a hard time differentiating between what is intuition and what is deregulation. Is it your intuition telling you to abort this mission? Or is your nervous system panicking? Again, it is not simply that you're inconsistent. It's your nervous system abandoning the project. Your nervous system is shutting down under pressure. So you cannot continue the project if your nervous system is shut down. And that's why you burn every project down before you actually get to see it through. And the problem with this is the panic pivot is it's not an informed pivot. It's not a pivot that is based on actual facts and findings. It's not like you really sat there and mindfully examined, like, you know what? I'm looking at the ROI. It's not worth it. I think I should pivot. That's a smart pivot. We want those type of pivots, but this is a panic pivot. This pivot is born out of fear and scarcity. And it's really insidious because over time, what this does is it sends the message to you that you don't know how to see things through. It sends the message to you that you don't know how to complete long-term projects. And to me, I would argue it's not a matter of effort. It's not a matter of skill or intelligence. It's really a matter of capacity, which we'll get into later. And the fact that your nervous system cannot handle the project that you're trying to take on. And please learn this from me because I have wasted thousands and thousands of dollars on all types of coaching and all types of starting new projects and new endeavors just to realize it was beyond the scope of my nervous system. Layer 3, the identity disconnect. One reason why you might be abandoning things that you start is because you're trying to build a new life from an old identity. You're trying to build this new life with this woman who no longer exists. No wonder it fails. Fails is subjective. No wonder it doesn't stick. And this is going back to what I said in the first episode in this series, is that sometimes you are ready, you are aware that you need to let go of a previous version of yourself. You are aware that she no longer works with you, but you don't quite yet have the foundation to act as the new version. So you're kind of in this middle where you're neither here nor there. You're in this identity purgatory and you don't really know who you are. When you have these identity shifts, whether it be a separation, a new relationship, loss of an identity, getting fired, getting laid off, having a child, whatever it is, if you're shifting your identity, you cannot use the blueprints that you're familiar with, right? It's very tricky. You might have spent years refining this blueprint, these tools. This is my toolkit. I carry it with me everywhere. I've built it up over the years. I'm facing a problem. Let me go inside my toolkit. But then you open your toolkit and there are no tools in there, or the tools no longer work. And that is what's happening, is that you're trying to prematurely build something from that new identity without really being her yet. It's like okay, yes, I have an Apple charger, but my Apple charger is from 1988. It's not going to charge my 2025 phone. And first of all, y'all should have never stopped giving us chargers with phones with the block. And y'all don't need to be releasing a new phone every damn year. The fourth layer is the worthiness gap. This one is the hardest. Oof. Sometimes we sabotage what we build because we don't yet believe we deserve the version of ourselves we're building. we stop it before it gets real. It gets a little too scary. Sometimes you simply don't believe in yourself enough. That is okay. I think we as a society need to get okay with saying that sometimes we don't believe in ourselves for certain things, and that's just the truth. Sometimes that belief has to be constructed, it has to be worked on, it has to be built up. But I think sometimes we try to force the fit or we try to jump the gun and no, I believe in myself, I believe in myself. And we try to perform it without it actually being authentic. And honestly, can I keep it real? And this is no shade. I'm talking to myself too. Sometimes you're right. Sometimes you're right in a small way. Sometimes not believing in yourself is right, is intelligent, is smart. Not because you're unworthy. I will never argue that. It is not about unworthiness. This is about perceived worthiness. Want to make sure that I make that distinction. Okay? You are worthy of all your deepest desires. Period, point blank. Okay, I love you. But you're unworthy because you're building something that you've never built before, and you don't yet have the belief in yourself that you can do it. And so you can't fake the funk, and that's okay. And the life that you're building, you might not actually have the skills for it yet. Let's say the life you're building has extreme wealth in it, right? Like you're very wealthy, you have a lot of money in this new life that you want to build for yourself. But if you do not have financial literacy right now, if you really are scared to check accounts now, if you're not really good at budgeting now, do you actually have the skills to hold that new reality? This is where we have to be very honest with ourselves. And I was going to say brutally honest. We can be honest and we can also be kind. So you don't have to tear yourself down in order to be honest. But there might be a gap. There might be a gap where there are certain skills and tools and things that need to be learned in order for you to actually feel and be worthy of this life that you're creating. And again, like I said, you're already worthy of it, but for you to believe you're worthy of it and actually hold on to it. Because if you don't really believe you're worthy of it, you're going to sabotage it. You grow into this version of yourself, not in one big aha moment. It happens little by little. It happens one decision at a time. It happens piece by piece. And that's really the whole point. The whole point is we are on a lifelong journey of evolution and growth. That's the truth. I know we want to think, oh, I'm done. I did the big thing. Look at me. I did it in one fall swoop. Sometimes it doesn't work like that. It reminds me of this healing retreat that I went on. I did this Japanese method of healing, this Japanese exercise called kintsugi. And I made a whole post on it. If you want to see it, I'll link in the description. But basically what I learned is I will never be the type of person who can plan everything all at once, make this big 5-year plan, and then just execute it. I have to take it one step at a time. It's not about what I learned in that exercise, because in kintsugi, you get a piece of pottery, you break it, and then you have to put it back together with gold glue. And so what I learned through that is you got to let the work shape you. It's not about only the final product is important, but it's really not the main goal. The main goal is the tools you develop, is who you become in the putting back together. But now the tricky thing is, if we're always starting and abandoning, if we're always giving up midway, we never meet the version of ourselves that we would believe in. The version of you who feels steady, capable, trustworthy, or the version of you that can hold that reality, we never get to see her. You're not starting over because you're not good enough. You're starting over because you're evolving. Nervous system hasn't quite caught up with that yet. And that's okay. And that's okay. So if you find yourself in a moment where you have started something and abandoned something, you're judging yourself, you're upset with yourself. If you notice, yes, Sheila, that's me. I got that pattern. I panic and then I pivot. Here's what you can do. I'm going to give you very simple things. If you want more in-depth things, you can check out my mini course there where I go more in-depth on things you can do. But let's keep it simple right here. I actually wrote about this in my first book because I'm a 2-time published author, period. On page 7, right here. If you spot it, you got it. Identify an avatar, which is like a person, a celebrity, a famous figure. that you would like to be like in this moment. Like, give me the name of someone who would have got this done, someone who would have saw it through. I'm going to use Beyonce. She's a great example, right? If I'm in a moment where I'm like, wow, I started something and I stopped and I'm feeling really low on myself, I'm beating myself up, Beyonce would never do this. Beyonce would have just, she would have made it happen. She would have just kept going. She would have had the tenacity. Great. So write the name of the person on the top of a piece of paper. So I would write Beyonce at the very top. Then under that, I want you to list the reasons why you listed her. Very dedicated. Her work ethic is unmatched. She works very hard. She's very rigorous, she's creatively rigorous. So she does a lot of research to prepare herself, and that research allows her to do a great job. She's not afraid to be seen. That's something that I would write. Sometimes I'm afraid to be seen. Beyonce is not afraid to be perceived. She's not afraid to be seen. So you write down, you give all those justifications for why it's her and not you. And then I want you to cross off her name off the top, put your name. This is called projection. Projection is a word from psychology. We're very familiar with it, a lot of us, and we usually think about it in the negative way. Like when someone is projecting something onto you, like in an argument, or I'm not doing that, you're actually doing that, you're projecting that onto me. Projection also works in a positive way, though. So what you are doing here, I want you are going to use projection for your benefit. All of those things, what we see in others is usually something that we are unwilling to identify in ourselves. So, in what ways, I want you to be open to the possibility that you have projected things that are valuable and good within you onto this person because you're not ready yet to claim those things within yourself. So, me, right? I'm afraid to be seen. Well, Beyonce's not afraid to be seen. I'm on a YouTube video right now. I'm on Instagram with almost 500,000 followers, and people look at me and perceive me all day, right? So in a certain way, yes, I am willing to be perceived, right? Like Beyonce. Work ethic. Well, Beyonce has this hard work ethic. Okay, maybe I'm not Beyonce, and there's a lot of reasons why. She maybe has a lot of support. She maybe just had a totally different life that I don't have. But do I have a work ethic? People don't write books who don't have a work ethic. It just doesn't happen. You don't get a major book deal without having a work ethic. So you see what I'm saying? This is where you are going to go through that list, and for every justification you gave about this person, I want you to justify why you also have that same thing. Tapping. You can do tapping, EFT tapping. There are many videos on that. I've included a tapping video in my mini course. So if you actually want to do the tapping with me, you can get the course and do it there. But if not, you can look up EFT tapping videos on YouTube. I love Brad Yates. I think he's great. Do a tapping specifically on being worthy. You do not have to rebuild from zero again. You can get out of this cycle. There is nothing wrong with you, okay? Your nervous system just needs a little attention and care. No, what if? What if it's not that you're just inconsistent? It's not that you're just flaky. It's that you're overwhelmed, and you are trying to stretch yourself beyond the capacity that you actually have allowed within inside. If you resonate with the panic and pivot pattern, then my free 7-day workbook, Unruly and Rising, might help you. It's basically everything we cover in these videos. It's just a workbook so you can follow along. And if you want to see how I'm navigating with all of these things, because again, I will never teach anything that I'm not also going through. I will never teach anything that I haven't experienced in my own life. You can subscribe to my Instagram subscriber stories. You never know what you're going to find on there, Chad. It might be a thirst trap. It might be a family life. It might be me cooking. It might be philosophical ramblings. It might be pop culture thoughts. Who knows? It's going to be huge. Okay, I just know it's going to be huge. In the next video, we're going to be talking about how to release old versions of yourself, old patterns, and old people so you can actually transition to the next era. You can't take that old stuff with you, babes. It just can't go. All right? All right, until then, I'll see you in the next video.